Before anybody can really love you, you have to love yourself. I know it sounds crazy and kitschy. It's the truth. And it's something I have really realized over the years. You just gotta find that love for yourself and fall in love. And I think sometimes we as women are so hard on ourselves that we make it impossible to love ourselves from other people. So how could we get other people to love us if we don't even love ourselves? We're so critical to ourselves. What does self-love mean, really? You have to think about, it's really the foundation of empowerment. It's the foundation of any personal development. Self-love. Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to walk away from bad situations? Do you love yourself enough to do the things you need to do for yourself and prioritize what you want and to see your future self be, right? That's what this episode is about. I'm Alicia Soikawa. This is The Empowered Woman with Alicia. And we're going to talk about the power of self-love and how do you fall in love with yourself? And if you've fallen out of love, how do you find that love for yourself again? So that your relationship's better with yourself, your relationship with your co-workers, your employees, your husband, your children, your wife, whatever have you, ends up being so much more beautiful if you know how to love yourself. And it really stems with the relationship you have with that inner voice and the inner conversations that you're having. And it's a lot of times the relationship we have with our inner child. The main points I really want to talk about today are disconnection from self, energy blocks around your self-worth, daily self-love practices. Are you doing them or not? Reconnecting with joyfulness and just being joyful and happy, and empowerment through compassion and generosity to yourself. And so we're going to talk about those today. And let's first start with looking at disconnection from self. And I think we say yes to everybody else but ourselves. A lot of times in our calendar, if we have something blocked out for ourselves, like a walk or getting more rest or going to get your nails done, hair done, anything for yourself, spa day, shopping, self-care, working out, that's the first thing you'll give up to do an appointment for someone else or give it to your children or your husband or whatever. I've seen it over and over again as a coach and as a business coach and as a friend. The biggest complaint I hear is that, oh, I had to give up my appointment because so-and-so had to go to the doctor or I needed to get this done. And I think that's this disconnect because you're telling yourself, your soul, that you don't count. You get last. You get crumbs. Everyone else gets everything else and you get the crumbs. And it's a dangerous slippery slope because I think once or twice it makes sense. If someone's really sick or you have to cover something, I get it. This is life and things happen and sometimes you just have to step up. But if we're getting in the habit of always putting ourselves after everyone else, it's training our brain to say that we don't count and we don't get the first piece. And it's something important to know that judging our bodies, judging how we do things, comparing ourselves, our clothes, our choice of emotions, or saying, oh, I should have done this, replaying scenarios of conversations that happened or situations and going, I could have done this, this, and this, and that wouldn't have happened. How many of you guys do that? I know I've done it in the past and I probably continue to do it. Like when something doesn't work out the way you wanted to, maybe replaying that conversation or scenario, especially in sales, it happens a lot when someone doesn't want to work with you. It kind of makes you feel like crap, and then you judge yourself and go like, well, I must not be worthy enough to have that, right? And I think it's really important to really understand what's happening and have awareness of it so you can fix it, right? So you can make it better. Second thing is be like energy blocks of self-worth. Self-worth is such a loaded word. I think so many of us run around with such a low self-esteem, self-worth for whatever reason, from childhood trauma, conversations, but mostly it's the conversations we are having with ourselves or things that we're doing to ourselves. If you berate yourself or you don't understand how to just give yourself some slack, it can be really, really dangerous. I've seen people talk horribly about themselves, but then they'll give everybody else around them grace and easiness. And I'm guilty of that too. So when I call these out, it's because I'm guilty of doing these things and I recognize them. And that's why I want to bring attention to it, to make you guys aware of where you may need to go, I need to work on that or think about that. Healing with chronic energy is something that I'm working through right now and practicing is, you can do chakra cleansings to think about self-worth. In the meditation of twin hearts that's done online, you can find that. If you do a meditation of twin hearts search, you can find that online. There's a piece where he says, look at your heart center, which is your heart chakra, and tell it words of love. Master Choco Sui says, say how much you love your heart. And when you do it, it's very like, how does that feel? And it feels beautiful when I've done it. And it's just like opening up everything. And we need to love ourselves. We need to actually physically say to our heart, I love you. Thank you for doing all the things you're keeping me alive, pumping every day, for taking care of me. Thank you for being a generous human being, for birthing children to this world, for being that person for people, for being a good friend, a good daughter, all the things things that you show up as. That makes you a whole human being, and to love yourself for it. And those are kind of like little tidbits of the energy blocks, but there's a lot of things happening to us that we basically block ourselves from giving our own love, like loving ourselves, right? We can give it to everybody else, but we don't have ourselves, or we're drained constantly. Daily self-love practices are kind of like, I know, cheesy sounding, but I think so important. It's kind of like how everyone's like, be in gratitude. That's the newest thing. Be kind. There's like little taglines you're seeing a lot of, but it's true. Like doing mirror work, like looking at yourself. I think Mel Robbins had a book about like giving yourself a high five or writing little sayings on the mirror. I've seen it work really well for our teenage daughter. That's like where a lot of this negative self-talk starts, because one person says something, and in that age group with their frontal lobes not developed yet, they're absorbing like sponges what people are saying about them, criticizing them, not including them. And it's horrible. It's such a horrible, hard time in life at that teenage years. You know, I think we all remember that. But mirror work is really important, and looking at yourself in the mirror and looking for things that you love about yourself. Like, wow, you have a really warm smile. You have great energy. Like, I'm having a good hair day, or I'm having a good makeup day, or whatever have you. My skin looks really good, et cetera, et cetera. Or, wow, you know, I can tell I got rest and I feel really good today. I have energy. Those are some kind of examples of that. Speaking love out loud to yourself, again, saying like, I'm so glad that I've done ABC this week, or I accomplished everything that I said I was going to do, and I'm doing all the things, I'm moving forward, I'm keeping the promises to myself, and thank you, I love you. And telling your body like, thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for being healthy. Thank you for being able to serve my family and serve people. And I like to say this prayer before getting in bed: let me be of service to those outside of me today, and let me be of service to myself first and foremost, so that my cup is full, right? So my cup is full, and then I can give to others, so I can be so full of myself. And self-care, body care, like I got my nails done today, I had my hair done last week, I got a massage, and I need to put another massage in the books. It's something that I notice when I make those efforts. I work out, making the time, even if it's 15, 20 minutes, getting outside in the sun and feeling the sun on my body, and, you know, just breathing fresh air is so important. It's little tokens that you're telling yourself, like little signs, little tick marks that you're saying, you care about me. I love you. Thank you for being there for me. I'm going to take care of you. Like getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. All those things are huge things for your body. And it will show in your skin. It'll show in your readiness. It'll show in your demeanor and your attitude in life, right? Versus when you're exhausted and running on empty. Reconnecting with joy. That's a big one. How many of you feel not joyful? I know the world is so crazy right now, and so much noise out there. You almost need to plug your ears up, because it will steal your joy if you allow it. If you allow the negative noise, all of the chatter that doesn't help you in life, infiltrate is what I would say. So if you know you're susceptible to that, don't do that. Like, I don't watch horror movies on purpose because it stays with me. I don't like that. I like to watch things that make me laugh, or that challenge me, or that are interesting. I choose that for myself. Like, if you like horror movies and it actually inspires you, then that's great. But that would be an example of something I don't allow myself to be exposed to, because it doesn't help my mental state at all. We need to be filtering the things that we know that are not good for us, that are blocking our joy. I highly recommend being with animals and kids, because they know how to be joyful. And, you know, when you see that little dog come, like our little new dog, Candy, she's 6 months now, and Ken, our King Charles, when we come in, they're so joyful to see us. It's such a blessing. And that's why I love having animals, because they just remind me of how, no matter what, they're just happy and joyful. They're amazing. Empowerment through compassion is the last one. And I just think that, you know, I liked how this picture of myself, and I need to bring it and show you. It's like, I think I'm in the 1st grade, and I had this habit because someone said that, look at that picture and say the things you say to yourself to that picture. Now, you won't do it. You won't do it to your daughter. You won't do it to your best friends. You won't do it to your nieces, to your partners. You'll do it to yourself so readily and easily. Give yourself some grace and compassion, and recognize, and you look back, like all the milestones and even all the failures you had in your mind that actually was good. All of those things were good because it led you to grow. It led you to try something. It challenged you. And maybe that closed that door and opened up another door, and you'll see it later on. So I would say, learn to say words of compassion to yourself and grace, and say, you know, I'm just not doing that today. I'm going to cut that out, and it's okay. And it's a really big way to kind of give yourself space to say, like, I'm a human being, and I deserve just as much care and love that I'm giving to everyone else around me. And the more habit you get into that, the more joyful you'll become, the happier you'll become. And it just like is that feeling of like, I love myself. And I do. I love myself very much now. And you do become more magnetic as a human being, because I think when you truly love yourself, you're not looking at what is wrong with everybody else, because you're okay. Like, nothing really it just kind of falls off. Things are like, whatever, it's not a big deal. And if this is something that you're in a journey for and you're curious, shoot me a DM. I'd love to have a conversation with you. We can do a free call. And this is kind of my new passion, is working through people's energy shifts and helping them understand how to figure out what the next path in life is for them, because I am constantly evolving myself and it's a super fun journey, this life journey that we're on. So till next time, stay empowered and talk to you soon.